This isn't just another video about why it's not working. This is a conversation with the part of you that's tired of chasing, doubting, and hoping something outside finally shifts. You've already done the visualizing. You've repeated the affirmations until your voice went numb. You've scrolled through every manifestation video and technique on YouTube looking for the one thing that finally cracks the code. But what if the breakthrough doesn't come from doing one more thing, but from realizing who you've been being all along? The truth is, you're not manifesting your desires. You're becoming the version of you who already lives them. And that's not a small shift. That's everything. We've misunderstood manifestation as a tool to get, when it was always about remembering what you already are. You don't attract what you want. You express what you are. And here's what's so often missed. You are not here to force reality to change. You are here to become the version of you who naturally exists in that reality. No begging, no pushing, no waiting. The outer world isn't resisting you. It's reflecting you. And if it hasn't changed yet, it's not because you're failing. It's because you're still being the self who doesn't believe it's done. The self who still peeks at the 3D to check if it's working. The self who still wonders, when will it come? Not realizing that the real shift happens the moment that question disappears. That moment when you no longer need to be convinced. When you stop hoping and start being. When your posture changes, your inner dialogue softens, and your energy becomes quiet, not because you're giving up, but because you've finally decided to stop pretending it's outside you. This isn't delusion. This is identity. It's not magic. It's embodiment. It's the silent, certain, undeniable shift from I want to I am. And most people skip this part because it's invisible. There's no applause, no sign, but it's everything. You've been doing all the right things. The scripting, the affirmations, the vision boards. You've memorized every Neville quote and spiritual law. You've done the inner child healing and shadow work and still wonder, why do I feel like nothing's changing? And it's not because you're not spiritual enough, or consistent enough, or deserving enough. It's because trying hard is still trying. It carries a message beneath the surface that it's not already yours, that something must be fixed or earned before it shows up. And that very energy keeps the desire at arm's length. Trying harder comes from lack. Efforting is the language of someone who hasn't claimed the reality. Think of someone who already has their dream life. Do they obsess over how to get it? Do they check their phone to see if it's manifested yet? No, they are living it. And that's why it keeps unfolding for them. The energy of trying is noisy, desperate, grasping. The energy of being is silent, grounded, knowing. You can feel the difference even as you hear this. One feels like breathlessness. The other feels like exhale. And this doesn't mean you should stop doing the techniques. But you must understand, the techniques themselves are not the cause of manifestation. They are reminders, anchors, tools to help you return to the identity that already has it. If they make you feel more doubtful, more frustrated, more obsessed, then they've become a distraction. The shift happens when you no longer do them to get something, but to dwell as someone. The work isn't to fix the outside. It's to stop identifying as the one who lacks. Because the version of you who has it is already living inside you, quietly, patiently, waiting to be chosen. When you're caught in the loop of checking, doubting, refreshing, wondering, and asking where is it, that isn't manifestation. That's resistance. And it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because a part of you still believes the manifestation is separate from who you are. Obsession feels powerful at first. It feels like focus, like desire, like proof that you care deeply. But it's actually fear in disguise. Fear that if you don't keep your eye on it constantly, it'll slip away. Fear that if you stop micromanaging the outcome, it won't arrive at all. But think of it this way. Do you stalk the delivery guy when you know your package is coming? Do you call the restaurant every 5 minutes after placing an order just to make sure they're still cooking your food? No, you wait. Not passively, but confidently. Because you trust the process, and more importantly, you know it's yours. Obsession is a form of control, and control is rooted in lack. It keeps you locked in the version of yourself who doesn't have the desire yet. That's the version who wakes up every morning thinking, maybe today it'll happen. That's the version who's secretly still negotiating with the universe, saying, look how spiritual I've been lately, look how positive I'm trying to be, don't I deserve it by now? But manifestation isn't a reward for good behavior. It's a mirror of your identity. You can't fake alignment. The universe isn't responding to your words, it's responding to your state. And obsession is a loud signal that you still see your desire as far away. Real manifestation is quiet, not because it's indifferent, but because it's already done. That calm, grounded version of you isn't obsessing, because they've already claimed it. They aren't refreshing old texts, checking their bank balance every few hours, or scanning every situation for a sign. They are too busy being. That's the energy that bends reality. That's when life rearranges itself to reflect the new self-concept, not because you forced it, but because you became it. There's a misconception that acting as if means putting on a performance, pretending to be someone you're not, or faking confidence until you're exhausted. But becoming the version of you who has the desire isn't about pretending, it's about remembering. It's about shedding everything that told you you weren't enough. It's about letting go of identities that were built on trauma, disappointment, and repetition. It's about finally recognizing that the version of you who has it all has always existed underneath the version who's been surviving. You've been taught to fake it till you make it, but that's not what identity shifting really is. Identity shifting is about returning to the self who never had to fake anything. The self who already believes it's normal to be loved, normal to be wealthy, normal to be chosen, normal to be celebrated. You're not manufacturing a new self. You're releasing the noise that kept you from seeing who you already are. And yes, that might feel foreign at first. Because when you've lived most of your life from survival mode, safety can feel boring. Worthiness can feel unfamiliar. Peace can feel suspicious. But this is the process. You're not building a new personality. You're remembering the frequency you were born with before you were taught to shrink, to doubt, to wait. You were never meant to hustle your way into abundance. You were never meant to question if you're worthy of love. You were meant to embody the energy of someone who knows. And that knowing doesn't come from the outside. It emerges when you stop looking for proof and become the evidence. Identity isn't what you say you are. It's what you unconsciously accept as normal. And if you're still identifying as the struggler, the chaser, the one who hopes it'll happen, then life will echo that identity until you shift. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because it's loyal to your assumptions. So, who do you assume you are? Really? Because the moment you claim the version of you who has, your entire frequency changes. And then, reality has no choice but to meet you there. You might be thinking, but I've been doing this for months and nothing's happening. And I get it. It's frustrating to feel like you're finally doing the inner work, only to wake up to the same job, the same bank account, the same silence, the same life. But here's what most people don't realize. Reality is not delayed, it's mirroring. It's not showing you the result of your desire. It's showing you the state you've been living in. Not what you've consciously asked for, but what you've unconsciously believed. That's why things often feel stuck. Because even as you're visualizing your dream life, your emotional home is still disappointment. Even as you say the affirmations, there's a part of you whispering, I hope this finally works. Even as you say I am abundant, your body feels anxious every time you spend. The world is not ignoring you. It's listening too well. It's echoing back the version of you you've normalized. So if things look the same on the outside, it's not because your desire isn't real. It's because your self-image hasn't caught up to it yet. And here's where most people give up. They mistake the lack of evidence for the lack of progress. But identity shifting isn't instant. It's not a one-time affirmation or a single visualization session. It's a quiet, daily choice to return to the version of you who knows. To walk through your current life as if you already have the new one. Not to trick the universe, but to train your nervous system into receiving. Because the body has to feel safe enough to hold the new identity. And safety doesn't come from results. It comes from certainty. Certainty that it's already yours. Certainty that what you feel inside matters more than what you see outside. This isn't delusion. This is power. This is alignment. And the more you stop looking for external proof, the faster that proof appears. Not because you finally did the right thing, but because you finally became the right version. You can't control the timing, but you can control the tuning. And when your frequency matches your future, the world around you has no choice but to respond. That's not magic. That's resonance. Let's clear something up. You're not waiting for your manifestation. You're creating it. And not with force, not with obsession, not with endless effort, but with your state of being. The idea that you're waiting keeps you in the identity of someone who doesn't have it yet. But the truth is, manifestation doesn't come from sitting around hoping. It comes from the moment you decide to live as the version who already has it. There is no waiting in manifestation. There is only alignment or misalignment. This is why time feels heavy when you're in lack. Every day feels like proof that it's not working. You wake up scanning for changes, looking for a message, hoping for something to shift. But when you're in your true state, when you've actually become the version of you who already has what you want, you're not counting the days. Because the desire doesn't live in the future anymore. It lives in you. And the version of you who already has the love, the money, the freedom. They're not waiting. They're creating. Through their decisions, their energy, their posture, their presence. You see, we've been conditioned to think that doing more equals having more. But manifestation doesn't respond to your to-do list. It responds to your internal alignment. Some people change nothing on the outside and still receive everything they've asked for. Why? Because they stopped trying to earn the manifestation and started living from it. They shifted into the timeline where it's already done. They moved out of the frequency of trying and into the frequency of knowing. That's the difference between chasing and receiving. And you don't need perfect circumstances to begin. You don't need a full bank account to feel abundant. You don't need someone to choose you before you feel worthy. That's the trap. Thinking the outside has to change before the inside can. But manifestation is the reverse. You choose the feeling now, you decide the identity now, and life begins to follow. Not instantly, not always in the way your mind expects, but in the exact way your higher self has always intended. You're not waiting for the right person, the right opportunity, or the right moment. You're simply remembering the right version of you. The one who doesn't chase, doubt, or shrink. The one who breathes deeply into the present, feeling the power of who they already are. And from that place, time bends, paths open, people change. Not because you begged reality to do so, but because you finally stopped pretending you're not already powerful. Here's the deepest truth most people overlook. Reality doesn't shift when you scream your desires the loudest. It shifts when you embody the quiet, unwavering energy of already. That silent certainty, that grounded knowing, that inner calm that says, I don't need to chase it because it's mine. The energy of already is magnetic. It's not frantic. It's not loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. It's subtle but undeniable. And that's the state that bends reality. Think about the moments in life when you were sure about something. Maybe it was choosing a career path, or deciding to leave a relationship, or even something as simple as picking a meal off a menu. When you knew there was no back and forth, no mental gymnastics, no anxiety, just a deep internal yes. That's the energy manifestation responds to. Not panic, not doubt, not checking, but the stillness of decision. When you're in the energy of already, you don't seek validation. You don't chase signs. You become the sign. You walk differently. You think differently. You move through the world as someone who doesn't have to convince anyone of anything, because it's already done. That doesn't mean you're detached in a cold, uncaring way. It means you're rooted in truth. You're not pretending to feel calm. You are calm, because the desire is no longer outside of you. This is why forced affirmations don't work if you don't believe them. It's not about the words, it's about the state behind them. I am wealthy hits differently when you feel wealthy. Not because of your bank account, but because you've trained your nervous system to feel safe with wealth. You've normalized the feeling. You've allowed it to become your baseline. That's when the affirmation isn't just a sentence, it becomes your identity. And yes, this takes practice. Not because you're not good enough, but because you've lived in a different identity for so long. Shifting into already might feel unfamiliar at first. It might feel boring or too quiet. But don't mistake peace for stagnancy. That stillness you feel when you stop chasing, that's power. That's alignment. That's when things begin to flow. Not because you pushed them, but because you finally became the version of you that they've been waiting for. Here's the truth that changes everything. You were never broken. You were never lacking. You were never waiting for the universe to deem you worthy. You've simply been identifying as someone who doesn't have it yet. That's it. That's the only reason it's felt so hard. You mistook your current reality for your identity. But you are not your bank balance. You are not your past. You are not the version who got rejected, failed, or felt ignored. You are the awareness behind all of it, and you can choose a new identity right now. This isn't spiritual fluff. It's reality. Because your life is always rising to meet your self-concept. Not the one you pretend to have, but the one you live in. And you get to choose, every moment, which version you're embodying. Are you choosing the version who's still waiting to be chosen? Or the one who already knows they are? Are you choosing the version who keeps watching manifestation videos hoping for the missing technique? Or the one who finally says, I'm done searching, I've already become it? This shift is subtle, but it changes everything. Because when you know it's yours, you stop needing proof. You stop needing to see changes every day to believe. You become the change. And then life responds, not out of obligation, but out of resonance. Because you finally stopped arguing for your limitations. You stopped identifying with the old version. You stepped into the one who already is. And from that place, everything rearranges. So if you've been feeling tired, not because you're lazy or doing it wrong, but because your soul is begging you to stop chasing and start being, take a breath, drop the obsession, drop the performance, and return to the truth. You are already worthy, already powerful, already chosen. The only thing missing was your remembrance of it. And if you're wondering, what happens when I fully become this version? But my reality still doesn't change right away. That's a whole other illusion. One we'll talk about very, very soon. If this message resonated with you, if you felt something shift inside while listening, I want you to pause for a moment and declare it in the comments. I am already the version who has it. Let it be your anchor. Let it be your turning point. And if you're ready to stop chasing and start being, I'd love to hear what that version of you looks like. What are they like? How do they feel? Let's bring that identity into the light together. I will meet you with another golden nugget. Happy manifesting.